I'm Sir Flowbojan Thunderhammer.
And I'm Teflon Frosthammer.
And I'm Cabbage Tidehammer.
And this
is
WAK.
If Amtgard knighthood means anything, you can't knife a motherfucker and keep it.
And the thing that people need to understand essentially about arts and sciences events is that your scores don't matter.
Do you want a black phoenix or a white phoenix?
Jeez, language, man. We're on
right.
a freaking podcast, for fuck's sake.
Mind-blowing experience, right?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to WAK, where we discuss topics important to the Amtgard community at large and talk with interesting people from around the foam fighting world. This week, we have on some guests from a new park to Winter's Edge, Tyrant's Thorn. We just now had our Midreign, and we wanted to do a Midreign wrap-up episode with a few newer members of Tyrant's Thorn. So, Tyrant's Thorn, thank you so much for joining us. Please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I am Saint Godric Gray. Been playing for 10 years or so now. Moved to Richmond probably 5 years ago of that, and been the first event in Winter's Edge and just got back and had a blast.
I'm Krieg. We've been playing for maybe a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
I'm Beck, also been playing just for a couple months, and so far, been amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, so real quick, Krieg and Beck, how did you get into foam fighting?
So I went kind of through like a depressive rut, and I seek counseling for it, and my counselor told me that I needed something to do.
Okay.
Essentially, like a hobby. So I went to college for archery. I was like an archer all throughout high school and college, 1 year of college.
That's
Really?
super cool.
Yeah. And then I was surfing the web and I saw a video called LARP Saved My Life. I think Vice did it.
Wow. Okay.
And it was really cool. And then I was like, that'd be all right. I could do that.
Yeah, it is not a unique story, my friend. We have talked to several people. Not all of the conversations were on air. Not all of the episodes have even aired. Some of them you'll never see. But we've talked to a lot of people over the years that in different ways have said that the community that they found here in Amtgard or Dagahir or Belagarth really, really helped them with various things. A lot of us suffer from depression and stuff like that. So more power to you, man, and thank you for coming out to the event.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you said your name was, and I'm going to mess it up, but it was no?
Beck.
Beck. I knew it started with a B, and my brain was like, say B, and you'll get the rest of it.
I'm so proud of you.
Hey, I'm doing my best. Beck, tell us your story.
So he went first.
Mm-hmm.
We're together. So he went first and was like, oh my God, you're going to have to come try this. It was amazing. All the people I met were great. There was no judgment. Very, like, what's the word? They teach. Like, they
Right.
were, like, you could learn. Like, they were teaching. It was just, he was like, it's a great environment.
Mm-hmm.
Come out with me one day. And that's how it happened.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, and funny story, Krieg's first day on the field, he stepped in a dog mine. And so it was just it was a great start to the game.
It was great.
That's how
That's how
Stinkfoot got his name.
Yeah,
Like, legitimately.
My knight that we have talked about many times on the show got his name from stepping in one of those and then just continuing to fight.
Well, from having a habit of stepping in those, as I understand
okay.
it. Now,
I was trying to
Krieg,
save him.
Krieg, a word of warning to you. I did the same thing. I got my fiance into the game, and now people like her more than me. So just be careful. You're going to have to learn to let that one go, okay?
That's all right.
That's fine. So, first Winter's Edge event, first event for some of you, it sounds like. I mean, do we want to jump straight into a good, better, best, or do we just want to talk about like what we enjoyed first and kind of get into it?
I actually have a couple questions for you just to set the scene here. How far did you travel to get to this event?
Oh, great question.
three and a half, 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
So, bit of a good drive there. For those not from Winter's Edge, we are very large by landmass, and our parks are pretty spread out. And Tyrant's Thorn just now came in. Your park is just over the state line into Kentucky?
No, we're about probably another hour and a half north of the state line.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, when we hit the state line, we're about halfway to you guys.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, and you guys did you guys have to drive through the ice storm to get here? Because I know we had some winter weather.
Yeah, we had about a third to half of our group who weren't able to make it because of the ice storm. So all of us, we're lucky. We're on the southern side of most of it, but just 20 to 30 miles up the road, some of our park players didn't even get iced out or didn't get out of the ice until like we were getting home on Sunday.
No. Yeah.
So,
well, glad you guys made it. Glad you guys made it. Okay, we're driving down, and my Honda Accord, and Flo goes, "I'm not worried about an ice storm. This thing has all-wheel drive." And I'm like, "It's a Honda Accord. No, it does not." He's like, "Just pretend it does. I'll feel better."
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Really, by the time we got to you guys, the weather was fine. It wasn't even really raining or anything. It wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cold, but cabins were very nicely heated, sometimes slightly overheated.
Oh, yes.
Just for you.
But yeah, so you drive 4.5 hours to get there through an ice storm. Pretty typical first event for AmpGuard, I'm sad to say. But you get there, and I saw that you guys had a really, really nice banner that you set up. It's 4 or 5 feet wide by 8 feet tall almost. Has your park symbol all over it. Really, really cool there. Start to unpack. What's the first thing that you do?
Who wants to take it?
You can. I don't know.
Yeah, so we got there right as gate was opening, and I had no idea where we were going in the park, and so it took us a while to kind of drive around and find where we needed to go, and then ultimately where we needed to go had a sign that said "Do not enter." And there was a trooper sitting right there. And I'm like, all right, well, let's see if this is where we need to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got there, got unpacked. They gave us our cabin assignments, which was really easy, and the gate was run pretty well, and we got our cabins really quickly and got everything set up, and then waited for the rest of our friends to get there.
Nice.
Very cool, very cool. Did you go and hang out because they had a rather large feast hall there. Did you go and hang out any? Did you have any of Duffer's very, very good cooking? Shout out to Sir Duffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That food was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. His chicken noodle soup is like life-changing.
Oh yeah, it was incredible.
Well, tell me advice I had given you before we got there. So
we were told that usually at events the food is not that good and it's not a lot of food. Mm-hmm. So
as a group, we decided that we were going to bring a microwave and like a hot kettle to make like tea and stuff.
It's a good call. It is a good call.
Why are we so dumb, Lucas?
Bro, we brought a sous vide. What are you talking about?
We did bring a sous vide to this
sous vide.
event.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was actually a gift for a friend of ours, but it technically counts because we brought it.
Yeah, so I had given them the advice: expect the food to either be on time or warm or plentiful. You don't get all three.
Yeah.
And then Duffer knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. That was some of the best food I've had at events in a really, really long time.
Man, that's good to hear.
Oh yeah, that's a normal Duffer experience too. Like this wasn't a one-off. Duffer unfortunately isn't able to come out as much as he used to, but when he does, we are very, very thankful that he's there. Mm-hmm. We actually have a lot of really, really skilled cooks here in Winter's Edge.
What did he say to you when you showed up? You walked into the kitchen to say hi to him because you knew he was running the Traveler's Feast. He said, "Flo, I love this kitchen, and get out."
So so I got Traveler's Feast. There was people coming in and out, and it was later at night at this point. This was actually closer to midnight, and I came in and I did the normal thing, right? I was one of the crats, and it's one of the positions that doesn't do a whole lot for our events, not needed as much. And so I said, "Hey, old man, you need any help with dishes or anything like that?" Like I'm looking around trying to find something as I'm talking to him. And he says, "Flo, I really like my kitchen." I said, "Yeah, this is a really nice one. They got warmers and a walk-in freezer here, and it's really good." And he said, "You're not understanding me. I mean, I really like my kitchen alone."
Yeah.
This is my time to be quiet and reflect and do things. And I was like, oh yeah, I used to drive to do things like that. And he said, Flo, get out of my kitchen. I was like, okay, good night.
I'm just impressed there's someone at Amgard that you can call old man.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Listen. You're gonna have to save that for Lao Tzu. We'll have you both back on.
Just put him in the ring.
Because these guys all make fun of me for being the old one at our park, and I'm like, just wait, I'm not terribly old. And then we get done after the battle game, and I'm laying in my bunk cooling off, and I go to get up, and all my joints are popping, and they're all making fun of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you'll get here. Get here.
Yeah, it won't be so funny, I promise you.
Yeah.
You reach a point in life where it stops giving and starts taking away.
Yeah. Hey, when he said that, did you like subtly put away your pipe that you've been palming this entire time?
Who?
You.
About being old?
Yeah.
I don't know what pipe you're talking about.
Because somebody says you're the pipe and slippers wizened old man, and now the pipe's gone, and I'm just wondering where it went.
That's weird that you would make up stuff in the middle of a podcast.
I swear to God.
Jeff, do you remember a pipe?
No, not a single pipe involved.
They like to gaslight me. It's a fun time for everyone. It's great.
So, got some good food, hung out, and got some sleep. I want to get into a good, better, best, but I'm kind of walking through the event in chronological order here. So, you sleep in a probably too hot cabin, at least for me.
Better than too cold.
Hey, better than too cold. On some bunks that I have to say, they were pretty nice bunks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Do you get up and fight in the
8 a.m. tournament? That
the
you have
8 a.m. Weapon Master?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are actually just frozen corpses still, and we are talking to your revenants.
Yeah.
It was so we had a tournament. Our tournaments start fairly early. This one started at 8, which is a little early even for us. But we do that so that it doesn't take up all of the day, and we can do some fun battle games and all kinds of stuff like that. So you participated in the Weapon Master. What did you think of that?
It was fun. I didn't dress appropriately.
Uh-huh.
I left him to pack his own bags.
Lucas, Cabbage does the same things to Vidalia. He'll get there and she's like, I didn't bring my gloves. I'm sorry. I thought you were an adult.
Yeah. My gloves are warm and toasty.
Yeah. I signed up for single, short, and flow. And I got too cold, single, short, and I didn't even fight the flow. It was my fault. But I liked in the beginning that flow, right?
Yeah.
That flow, you were asking questions, like asking questions that new people didn't think of. That was really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
You're welcome. So we've been running tournaments for a long time, and Clover is very good at running them.
No, he's not. No, that's kidding. no, he's actually fine at running it.
Getting a little shady over here. But it's one of those things where there's a lot going on, and so there's 5 things that I always listen for when a tournament is starting. What type of reaving are we going to be doing? And there's a whole list, right? And if any of those get missed, regardless of the tournament I'm at, I always do the hey.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and not only that, but this was actually a unique tournament for us. I think 35 or so % of the people that were participating in the tournament had been in Amp for under a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had a visiting sword knight from Rising Winds.
Warlord.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, Warlord from Rising Winds. That during the poll bracket, he walked up to me and said, "Hey, you said that you've got a whole bunch of new people." I said, "Yeah, there's a lot here." And he set one of his speed poles down because the tip had gotten a little stout in the cold, and picked up one of his squishier speed pole tips. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not looking to hurt anybody. That one's almost concrete now." So, but yeah,
So-
it was cold.
So my question for you... Oh, go ahead.
I will say we had 2 fairly large bruises on players after the tournament, and I don't think that the shots were necessarily too hard or anything like that. I think it was a combination of cold sticks, cold people, and then getting hit.
Yeah.
So I think that we had a couple, like one girl in particular, she had like 2 big old bruises taking out her whole but she was like, that was awesome. So it was all good.
So that's amazing.
This is just a shout out to anyone that is newer that is listening to this. If you are at a tournament and it's or going to be fighting in a battle game or anything, and it's close to winter, bring your sticks into the cabin with you, because if you leave them out in your sword bag in the car, they will be concrete in the morning. You will not be happy. The people you are hitting will not be happy.
Yeah, depending on who's doing weapon checks, your weapons might not be legal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just it's depending on how much they've hardened. No, question for the new folks here though. When you were watching the tournament, were there any fighters that you saw that like inspired you or anything like that, or was it just cool to see high level fighting in a kingdom level tournament?
It was cool to see it.
You don't have to name names. You can just describe me.
No, I can't think of any fighters in particular that I was like really fixated on, but it was really cool to see them all fight.
I liked watching the warlords fight just to see like what makes them so good.
Right.
I mean, it was interesting to see how there was different types of fighters, and like that was cool to see because we all kind of fight relatively same here.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see.
So that's actually something you'll get a lot of if you travel to different parks. People fight generally like the best fighter at their park. There's sort of like a style of fighting that most parks will have. So yeah, that's always fun to see like what people are doing.
We encourage people to travel. Coming to Kingdom events is always going to be fun and awesome, but even going to whatever the closest park to you is, just to get exposed to another style of ANS, another style of fighting, another style of playing Amp Guard, because it helps everybody grow, and you might find something that you really like. I got into woodworking because I traveled and saw someone doing it, sitting there whittling on a little walking stick, and down at DH when we were under that big, huge pavilion with a huge fireplace, and was like, man, that's awesome. And they talked to me about it for a little bit, and I went and bought stuff.
They let someone at DH have a knife?
Yeah, and now I make boots.
So the other thing that was happening during that, like roughly during that same time, I know Godric, you were judging, there was a Dragon Master. Nice. Did you guys enter any items in that? Anything that you saw in that was really cool?
I don't think any of us did, but we had someone from our park that entered some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of our other newer players, Silent Knight, entered a full 5 max item and did significantly better than I thought he would.
That's amazing.
He did really good. He was so happy with his responses and all of the stuff that he got back. And then we also had one of our newer players was a shadow judge with me on that. And he really, really enjoyed interacting with the judges, but then seeing the process and how it all worked. So it was a good time.
Yeah, I know for me, the thing, aside from like the cake that Belle made that I ate
too much of. So good.
Yeah.
Now, which one she made too?
The baklava cake, whatever that was.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was just straight
That's
baklava
straight up
cake.
her own recipe. That wasn't anything copied. She made up the whole thing.
Jeez.
We ended up in a cabin with that cake and no one else there. It was just me, Lucas, and Hogman. And Lucas and I, Hogman's pretty chill. Lucas and I are eyeballing that cake like no one would know.
We'll be in and out. 5 minutes tops. We're good. No, but somebody made, and I don't remember the name. I'm sorry. Whoever made this, they made a full Kyoshi warrior fit.
I think that was Sigyn.
I have no idea.
Hey, whoever you were, comment in the video and let us know.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that thing was badass. Like, no joke. And then they like. She was wearing the full Kyoshi warrior thing, and she entered it. And then there was one of the lemurs running around as a full Dai Li agent.
Toast-a-Pop.
Yeah, Toast-a-Pop. Thank you. And like those two, when they walked into the feast hall. Yeah, when they walked into the feast hall together, I was like, oh, like it was so good. The garb together was awesome.
And I loved how he just hung out behind your all's table the whole time during court. That was so cool.
You love that, huh?
Yeah.
I thought it was great too, and even better because it made Cabbage
just
paranoid.
Like, why is he here? How are you in my house?
Dude,
that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I walked up and I said, "How's the war going?" And he said, "There is no war in Bossing City."
Yeah. So speaking of, the theme of the reign was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Did you guys participate in the sort of battle game that Clover ran after the tournament was over?
Yes, that was. I got there late, so I didn't play the first round of it. But then I went up to him and with Hogman and was like, "Hey, can I? Like, I know I'm late, but can I play next round?" And he was like, "Of course. Like, I'm not gonna keep you from fighting." And that was awesome. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a multi-stage battle game. I didn't get to participate in it, unfortunately. But tell us a little bit about it.
You want to? You want me to?
No, yeah,
Okay. It was an offense defense game, so each team got to do both. There were 3 walls that had different ways that you could get into it. You won by taking the innermost sanctum of the castle, and there were dynamite that was spawning randomly that you could use to get into the walls. There were some archer siege tower mechanics that were really fun. There was a big bomb mechanic that you could collect the pieces to while the game was going on.
Nice.
Super fun. I thought it was complex enough for the vet players to really get in. Like, each round had completely different strategies for each team, and so I thought that was pretty cool. But then it was also easy enough that we can throw new players in. And did you enjoy yourself? Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like, hey, you're collecting dynamite this time, or hey, get the pieces of the big bomb, and there's something that you can just sort of work on without having to think about the complexity of the overall thing.
I know Clover was a little worried at first because during, I guess, the first wave or whatever, like, things were kind of moving slow, the walls weren't really breaking or nothing, but the moment the first wall fell, it was like all hell broke loose, and he's just like, oh my gosh, it's so good now.
Well, part of the so I was on the defense team first, and I go, so how does defense win? And he said, you don't. It's you got 20 minutes and you're seeing who can get the furthest. And so I'm like, all right, and I turned, okay, Paragon Warrior, tons of Heralder.
Yeah.
Great. He was our team captain, did fantastically in that role. But I'm like, hey, we can't win. Let's go outside of the wall and just fight them outside of the walls and, like, sit on the dynamite, the only thing that can kill our walls. He's like, cool, grab 5 or 6 and go do it. I'm like, sweet. So we did. And so the first wave, we sat on the objective as the defense for a really long time.
Yeah.
But then once that first wall broke and the spawn point moved, we couldn't do that anymore, and it did. It went really quick after that.
Nice.
He said that I don't remember exactly how it was, but like if it was 3 points on one team, it was like at the whistle, the third point coming in on the other team was coming in. So one team won by literally like seconds, is what he sounded like.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Each gate had 5 hit points. And so you were bringing a dynamite in, and there was an actual activation mechanic, and then it blew up everybody within so many feet of it. And so it came down to, if I recall, 1 hit point on 1 gate.
Gotcha. Yeah. Wow. He said it was super close.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So this was how many phases for this battle game?
3.
Well, 2. It was just an attack and defense, so you got to play both sides.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there was a second battle game after that, correct?
Yeah.
I did not play in that one, so I'm not sure.
Did any of you play in that one?
Okay.
No. Okay. Well, none of us did. So sorry, Clover.
Winded.
I'm bad.
that first game winded, like, it was, because it was 2 20-minute rounds of full back, like, it was. And that was a first amp guard I had played in 2 years, really. So I was like, oh boy, I should not have put that armor on.
And to be fair, it was a violent kind of cold too. Like, it really eats away at you. But I want to shout out Heralder real quick, because, like, having that dude on your team is just an instant morale boost.
Yeah,
like,
he's
that dude's
super
always
cool
in a
about
good
everything.
mood.
Yeah.
Was there any particular moments that any of you guys had, like, that were really cool moments that you guys participated in during that battle game?
It's okay to say feast afterwards.
Yeah.
After the battle game, I know we all went to the cabin and kind of crashed.
That's hilarious.
Oh no.
Oh, I think they froze.
Is it?
That was intense, and then we were very ready to eat afterwards.
Yeah.
That's funny. It seems like everyone at the event went to their cabin and crashed.
At some point.
Yeah.
But, okay, so then from there, we all go back and sleep. And really, we all go back and warm up.
Yeah.
I took a nap. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Wait, I'm passing something really important here. Lunch was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On time. Very on time.
Very on time.
Delicious.
Then we all go crash. I stuffed myself with hot dogs and fry bread and whatever else was in there.
You ran the glizzy gauntlet.
I beached myself on my bed like a whale. Washed ashore.
Hey, by the way, a cabin full of all of us after having just eaten a hot dog buffet sucks a lot. Just so everyone knows, it's poison.
It was about that time that one of our new players it was Cersei, right? Who walked in and she goes, "It kind of stinks in here."
Yeah.
It was me. I was like, it smells bad.
Get used to it. Sorry. Like it is what it is.
Yeah. You open the door, you're like, bah.
And then
And Godric was like, if it smells bad in here, just open the door and let it
Our bed, me and Beck's bed, was right by the door.
Uh-huh.
So anytime anybody opened the door, it was just
Instant draft.
right on us. I was like, no, don't open the door. Put a freeze.
See, for us, we realized that because the heaters for the cabin were right above the doors, if you open the door to cool off the cabin, it had kind of a counter effect where it would heat the back of the cabin to a ridiculous amount. So Flo, who is, look at him.
A Yeti.
Yeah, like he's like, it's hot in here, and he'd open the door, and then he'd go sit back down on his bunk, and he's like, why did it get hotter? We're like, stop opening the door. It's going to do that.
he's not the smartest boy. But yeah, so feast rolls around and then court. Was this your first big court? Have you had a park court yet?
Yes, we've had a park court, right?
Yep, we had one where we gave out like 3 awards. So
Good.
this was
At least you had a better expectation than having to deal with me at court.
I
Or experience.
loved your hat, your boomy hat. By the way. It was
Yeah, now that
sick.
was awesome. Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah, Lexi made it on Tuesday.
Just in a day. Put
In a
it
day
together.
build, yeah. Don't look at it real close. It's not great if you look at it real close.
I was like, oh, that's awesome. I wish that we could have found some real feathers. She's like, oh, yeah, no, I nixed that. Jeff would break them just as soon as he put them on.
Yeah.
He'd play with it and just pull the feathers out. You good food for dinner as well. Thank you again, Duffer. And then we have court. What was it like? What was your first Kingdom court like?
It was awesome. I thought it was really cool. I like seeing everybody in kind of like a fancier garb for it.
Court
That was
garb.
really neat. Yeah. I really liked, I don't know his name, but the guy that passed down the assassin.
Bashirin.
That's Bashir.
Yeah. I really liked that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made me cry.
For those that weren't there, we have a player in our kingdom, Vashirin, that received his master assassin probably 6 years ago, maybe more than that.
I think
now.
it was still in V8, so I don't remember when.
But and his apprentice, who had been apprenticing under him for a number of years,
Z,
had reached a point where she was being elevated to Paragon, and he passed down his Paragon sash and the mask, the assassin mask that he had been given to her. It was really cool.
yeah. In general, seeing those really high level awards get given out is a lot of fun. You know, the whole room of 100+ people yelling hip hip huzzah and going crazy. That's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was very impressed with the overall, like the artwork given out for the awards too. Some kingdoms, it's just like, oh, here's a basic 8th or 9th, and it's just like marked in pen or whatever. I really, really enjoyed looking at all the beautiful art that people had made.
So we've kind of accidentally established a precedent, I guess, as much as I hate that word in that context in Amtgard.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, right. For scrolls, like true scrolls done at 8, 9, and 10,
Cool.
as well as titles and I feel like there's something I'm missing.
I mean, just scrolls for anything above 8th, really.
Yeah.
My first
anything
8th
big.
was on a napkin.
Yeah.
I'm not making that up. I
Yeah.
still have the napkin.
Got to keep it. Otherwise, what if the awards disappear?
Yeah, right?
No, so
I like that. And you're right. Some of it was really beautiful. We had some scrolls given out that were not a traditional scroll, but were woodwork.
Yep.
Like wood burning and things like that.
I mean, you
The
did one.
planner, the planner was so cool too.
Yeah, that one was neat. I liked that one.
Didn't you make a scroll for somebody that was you made the master or the 10th owl for?
No, I did the 8th crown for Vidalia.
That's
and
right. Okay.
I did the Paragon color for Obscura.
Yep.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
That one was really cool.
It was.
I had fun making it. It was a cool one.
And then, so after feast, right after court, after feast, everybody kind of disperses. There was some nightlife stuff going on. There was a tavern. There was a bardic. Did you guys stick around for that? Did you guys start to make your way home?
We stuck around for a little bit and then went back into the cabin. And then Godric came in and was like, "What are you guys doing? It's Saturday night. Go and party. Like, go and talk to people, make friends." And he was like, "I'm not coming back until later tonight." And so we all crashed afterwards.
Yeah, they all crashed on me.
I got real pooped and I just fell asleep.
Listen, I did that and do that kind of for Amcard events as well, so like I don't blame you.
Well, I know poor Godric got cornered a little bit there. That was a lot of fun.
Flo left me.
Flo, hey, here's the thing. Flo knew.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what happened to you.
He's like, "I don't want to get stuck. Sorry, buddy, I'm out."
So, what you missed, because there was a couple of things that are pretty normal at events that you didn't get to see and that you will get to see next time.
First thing, drunk lemurs. Okay, go.
Nope, I think you got to see that one.
I got to see them, yeah.
Okay.
Usually there is fighting going on pretty much all of the time. There's a ditch field somewhere.
It's too cold.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
it
we
was
did start a ditch field. We started, not many people showed up. There was probably like 6 of us, but it was more than what we thought was going to show up.
Oh, nice.
That was the same
that
thing.
Saturday night?
Yeah, that was Saturday night.
I had a small one on Friday night as well. There's about 5 or 6 of us, same, because it was freezing.
Yeah, let me make you a promise right now. If you come to a spring or summer event, the ditching doesn't really stop. Like, it'll be 4 a.m. and you'll hear shots popping across the field. And it's very annoying, but very fun.
The October event, I think we had a 40-50 person ditch for 2 to 3 a.m. or
Yeah,
something
I almost
like
killed
that
Flo
on
with a
Friday
polearm.
night. Yeah,
Twice.
It's so funny for me. I'm from further up north than you guys. This is my favorite weather of the year to camp in and fight in, because it's like it's relatively cool, but then you can throw layers on and it's not awful in the evening. And so like Flo was like, "Yeah, everyone came back from the battle game to warm up." I'm like, "Man, I came off and took my armor off and like stripped down because I was sweating so hard." I thought the weather, especially on Saturday, was really, really nice. Like it was that good it was like 40, 45 in the evening. So it was like you wanted to bundle up and be by the fire, but if you were walking from camp to camp or whatever, it wasn't the end of the world.
Legitimately, right after the tournament, like somewhere in the like 11-ish range, the weather was reasonable.
Yeah.
So I want to move to a good, better, best, because I'm really really curious to see. And we're not going to start with you, Godric.
All right, I'll sit back.
Let's start with Beck. We've been going right to left. Let's go left to right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Beck, good, better, best if you've never done one. What do you think, you can do them in any order, but what do you think was good at the event? What was better than that? And what was the best for you? It's not easy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I'd say best was probably, just for me personally, I just liked getting to know everybody and meeting everybody and seeing how everything was like ran. Like that's probably the best thing that I also learned a lot. Everyone was also super nice and super helpful to like during the tournament. I went up to Patches and was like, "Hey, like, how do you fight polearm against polearm?" And he was like, "Here you go." And he like taught me while we were standing in line.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I don't know now.
Patch's Guide to Polearm Fighting. Step 1, roll a Ferrari into a pole.
We can come back to you too.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Do we want to go around and do best and then better and then
Oh,
good?
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, we can
That
do
gives
that.
everybody time to kind of think.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
The best thing for me, I think, was the really positive environment that it all created. that nobody had any judgment of anybody. And I thought that was really cool. And the food was awesome.
We're the Happy Shiny Kingdom. Florida used to be the Happy Shiny Kingdom, but then we came along.
But then Florida happened.
Godric, what was your best?
I think Duffer's feast and food through the whole weekend. It was delicious. I left every meal full. It was all on time. Just, you could tell the dude was an SCA player.
Yes.
But I think for me the best part was all the delicious food.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so does it?
What about you, Flo? What was your best?
Cycles back to Flo.
We'll go ahead and cycle through as well with our best, and then that'll give you time to think of your better. So best for me is going to be maybe not best for the whole event, but just best for me. I got to see Beefy in the tournament do really, really well. Beefy has always been a really good fighter at our park.
Yeah.
But classically in tournaments, we have a really tough tournament scene here. We have a lot of really, really strong fighters. And Beefy hasn't always placed top 8 in all of the brackets. He usually does very well in open, but he also usually fights a combination called Slim Jim, which is a board and down spear combo. And he has been putting in an immense amount of work into his fighting for the past, I'm going to say, 8 months to a year.
Yeah.
Practicing every single time we had a practice, organizing practices when we didn't, and just really, really kicking butt out there. And he made it into every single top 8, and he won open with sword and board, not with his Slim Jim, which was a big deal for him. So my best is going to be a shout out to Beef for his performance in the tournament. You absolutely deserve it, man. You put in the hard work, and you're reaping the benefits now. Keep going, and you'll start winning.
Yeah, honestly, I was like giving him my filthiest fighter award for the day, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He was pulling out. He's been working on this Molinet shot forever, which is where you roll the sword over your elbow and take like the right side shoulder, I guess in my case. He's been putting in reps on that shot forever, and he pulled it off on so many people, and every time he did, I'm like, oh, that's filthy. So not filthy fighting in a bad way, filthy fighting in a great way.
So Teflon, what's your best?
Man. So I didn't get to participate in as many things, but I expected that there was going to be fires to put out around the event, because usually there is, and honestly everything ran so smoothly that I was just checking in with people and being like, hey, you need help, is there anything going on? And they're like, no, go away. So that was great.
Perfect.
That is exactly what you want to hear as king.
Yeah. For me, it's honestly seeing all the new people out at the event. I mean, Radiant Valley alone, we had the return of Carter, I guess. He brought his kids out with him. We had Josh came back out after having not been out forever. We had Joe come out. It was his first event ever. Radiant Valley alone fielded like 5 newbies. You brought, I don't know, hell, your whole park just about. So seeing all the new people on field, like, I really like seeing faces I don't know.
Yes.
Because it's people I haven't scared off yet.
And hey, to put in perspective that was Joe's first event, Joe got Zeb into the game in like 1996.
He was the bard that we were talking about, who was playing the drum the whole time.
Yeah.
Loved him.
On the field.
Nice.
It was sick. We're sitting there in spawn because it was a 90-second spawn, and everyone's just sitting there dancing because he's got his drum going the whole time.
Oh, that's so good.
So a fun story about that. He busted that out at for the first time at a battle game at RV like a week before. And we were doing like a capture the flag thing, but there was like a count mechanic. So I was wreathing one of the flag points, and he's playing the drum as people are running back and forth. And I said, hey, man, you want to mess with everybody? He goes, do I ever? And I said, I'm pretty sure you can change the pace of the game by how fast you drum. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah, start drumming faster. And people played faster and ran faster. And then they were like, we need a break. And I'm like, okay, slow down. Give him a little bit of break. Drum slower. He's like, oh, okay. Doom, doom. So that was a lot of fun. It was good seeing him finally make it out. But yeah, all the new people coming out. Also a shout out to, I think, someone from Tyrant's Thorn. I may be wrong, but Silent Knight, is he your guys? That dude's fucking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was like the talk of the town. Like everywhere I went, they were like, "Oh, it's Silent Night!" And like at one point, he walked into the feast hall, and people were parting the like sea for him to walk through. Like, make way for the Silent Night. And I'm like, this is dope as shit.
That would make him incredibly happy to hear.
This is coming out Friday. Make him watch it because I'm serious. That was awesome. And seeing that dude everywhere and the way like everybody was, talking to the new players and everything, it was super cool.
He's legit. I think that actually he is my best for the event. Like thinking about it back again, just seeing him be out there, staying in character the entire time, didn't say a word the entire event while he was on field and stuff. It was amazing. I love that about him.
Well, and he did ANS stuff too.
Yeah,
and did really well.
Yeah, because he had I know he did some chainmail. That was copper inlays on, I think, steel, maybe aluminum. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't ask too
Aluminum.
far.
It was
Gotcha.
aluminum.
Okay. And I don't remember what else he had, but
his best scoring thing was a custom crochet like hood cloak with detachable sleeves and pockets, and like it scored. I want to say he got like a 4.2, 4.3.
Oh, wow,
on
that's
it.
awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
He did really well for that one.
All right, so
I was, as a Florentine fighter, I appreciated seeing someone fight a down sword in Florentine.
Yeah.
He fights with one sword down, and it gives you an angle to pop it like you would a down spear.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Florentine is just two porcupines standing at odds with one another. Any little thing that you can do to get an edge is really cool, and he used it to his advantage a couple of times.
Yeah. So we did best. Let's go back around, starting with Beck again. Let's do better, and then we'll work our way down back to good.
I really appreciated. So Silent Night, obviously, stay silent most of the time. During tournament, he struggled to shout his name.
Oh, okay.
But can I say that he can't? It stresses him out.
No, you're good.
Okay. So the reason why he doesn't talk is it stresses him out and can cause seizures.
Oh, wow.
If he gets like overexerted. And so they took an account that they were like, whatever's easiest for you, like you can hold up one finger, like they really tried to like accommodate him. And then later Clover came up to him and was like, I'm so sorry, like I didn't understand. We will try like our best next time to make it even better for you. And like that was just awesome that somebody was gonna like go out of their way and make it even.
Yeah, so I had actually come in late to the tournament around 9-ish or something, and I saw him win one, and the Reef said, I got his name, it's Silent Night, and then kept moving and like really tried to make sure that he was good.
Hey, Winter's Edge Iron Man line. Every single time Silent Night wins anything, shout his name.
Yeah.
Everyone in line. Shout his name.
All right, Krieg, better.
Or just another thing you liked.
Yeah.
I guess I could say like the whole fighting thing. That was pretty cool. It was really cool to see all the competitive people go and really, really, really try and then get really, really bummed out when they don't get it.
Shout out to Patches.
I saw a few people that got real butt hurt.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And the big class game was cool. I'm not too comfortable doing class games yet, so I just kind of watched.
They are big deals. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I can't blame you.
Hey, so I'll tell you a piece of advice. This is what I did when I was new. I don't battle game as much anymore because of various injury stuff. But when I started, I decided to play healer. I sat down and learned the heal spell by repeating it in the bathroom, like while I was taking a shower or something. And I would simply sit in the back and watch. And I would tell people, hey, I'm new. If you need healing, come back to me. If you need your armor mended, come back to me. And that kind of gave me something to do without being directly involved in the combat until I got more comfortable with the rules and what was going on. So there's a couple different classes you can do that. You don't have to do that with healer. But that may be a good approach for you if you're looking to do that, is just hang towards the back and grab something like one of the classes that can buff people, or one of the classes that has quite a bit of range stuff. Even Archer, if you think that Archer would be something fun. And just kind of sit back and hang out and observe. It is shocking to me how much one person that is just kind of hanging out and watching can help the team. I kind of built up and became more comfortable and would say things like, "Hey, they have an archer over there," and everyone would go and turn all and break their mic. Yeah,
brand new pop filters. How could you?
Everyone, all of our boards would turn over there, and I was like, "I did a thing," and then I would get shot. So yeah, just a thought of if you're looking to get into it and kind of wondering how, that's the approach that I took.
Mm-hmm. So Godric, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Like I said, that's kind of what I did during the game. Like Godric was like, stand back here. I was playing monk, so I was like helping block like our bard. They were doing like a respawn.
We had a res machine going,
Nice,
and I was like, hey, stand here, block for this.
Got you. Heart of the swarm.
I kind of just stood out and watched and learned from afar, but also kind of helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No one, I don't think our res team ever got like TP'd on. So
oh wow,
we had a couple of our newer players hang out and just, your job is to protect, and they did a good job.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah, whenever you can maintain that Heart of the Swarm bard, like it just gives you a lot of like forward operating power.
Yep.
So Godric, we did best, now better.
For me, it was the site. I really enjoyed the setup of having all of the cabins central to where it feasts and where everyone was hanging out. I really liked that we had a warm place to hang out, and there was the fire that was there in the middle too, which was cool. And the cabins were awesome. And I thought for what we got, the price that we paid was criminal.
Yeah.
Like, at least like for like, I don't know what the kingdom paid, but like me paying $30 for that, I would have doubled that to go to that site. Like it was a really, really good site. Mm-hmm. I hope we go back.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that a lot of people have had good news for the site, so it definitely has a rotation, I think.
You want to know what else is criminal? The fact that only 35% of the people listening to this are subscribed. So if you like what we do, please hit that subscribe button. Click like. It really does help us bring more content.
The hairs on my neck stand up when you start the bad segue. You know what else is criminal? And I'm like, just like, I don't know why. It's not even bad. It's funny.
Totally roped in. I was like, what else is criminal? Got me.
Oh, man. Flo, what was bad? What was better?
So better for me is something that everyone else kind of put as a best, and I don't want to copy, but it really is my better. And that was just, we haven't had many events yet since we're coming out of the shutdown on everything, and I got to do a lot more hanging out at this one than I did at the first one. So just because of the site setup, which you kind of mentioned, Godric.
Yeah.
So just being able to, I spent a lot of time in the feast hall, just hanging out and talking to people and
eating the leftovers.
And I ate the entire time. But yeah, that was, it was just great getting to see everybody again. And then even when I ate myself into a coma and went back to the cabin to continue eating all of the snacks that Vidalia brought. I have a problem, apparently. We kind of hung out there, just our group that was in the cabin that was probably 5 or 6 of us.
No Spoons gang, what's up?
Yeah. And we're rapping about the event, what's going on, you know, how what we liked. I mean, kind of doing this thing right here, and it wasn't even over yet. There was so many cool things that had happened up to that point that we kind of needed to decompress about it. So that was, I have missed that, and it's kind of one of those things that you don't realize how much you miss it until you're able to go do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So I guess I'll piggyback. So my better would kind of be the not having to put out fires, but also how awesome Belle is as a regent. She is amazing.
I hate that you went before me. This is bullshit.
And she helped me get all the awards kind of set up. She did all of like the legwork for getting them assigned and everything, and I needed to sign stuff and things like that. And so I got kind of a funny story about that one too. Is that I chronically roast Vidalia about random things that gets her stressed out about awards and stuff. So she brought stuff for me to sign. I was like, I don't need to sign these. Throughout as long as I could, I tried to put that signing those awards off, and finally got to the point where, all right, I actually do have to do this. And so we're in there, and she's having to cut them down to fit into the frames. And I'm sitting there looking at Clover's award, which he's sitting on this throne of skulls, kind of forward, and has this classic Clover smile on. And I'm like, boy, I could take this really nice gold marker and put a grill on this man and things like this. And she's already got like kind of a hurt hand, so she's shaking a little bit while she's cutting. And so she's like infuriated, like with anxiety and everything. Like, don't do anything to my award that I just made, or someone made. I don't remember. I think it was her, but I don't remember.
Her,
yeah, okay. And so I eventually just opted to put little gold eyes in the skulls so that I've done something to it.
Well, can we break the stigma that the monarch has to put their awful handwriting on these beautiful pieces of art that people have made?
Yes, please.
I hate it.
I know. I do
when
too.
You get these massive knighting scrolls and it's all calligraphy or it's typed out and it's gorgeous. And
can we put it on the
bottom,
back?
Yeah, there you go. You have the monarch who just takes a pen and signs at the bottom of this like beautiful thing. Like, quit doing that nonsense.
Yeah. Just before Lucas goes too, just another shout out to Belle here. So I was one of the crats. I got a belt pouch with my symbol. She asked what nation, because remember this was an Avatar ring. I was Earth Nation, represent. And then because I was security crat, she filled it. She customized these. So my security crat had very tiny zip ties.
In case some people start a fight and you have to zip tie their thumbs together.
Hand warmers, because again, it was 0 degrees.
Oh, that's where the hot hands came from.
Yeah. And then she put in a schedule into it and then had a personal note for me.
And snacks, but those are definitely gone by now.
The snacks are gone.
I had snacks in here?
Yeah, you gave them to me. I was going to leave that part out, but yeah, you gave them to me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I was tired.
I ate them in my bunk.
Gave them.
No, he did. He threw them at me. He was like, I don't want this granola. And then I ate it in bed, and that was a mistake.
I do remember throwing that at you now.
Yeah. So I hate to steal Jeff's thing, but again, the event ran really smoothly. And to give a little background without going too far, there were some, I don't know a better way to say this, so we're all just going to laugh after I say it and get it over with. There were some pretty big balls that got dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so some stuff got dropped last minute, and it happens. Real life happens to people. It's not wholly unexpected. So when Jeff said, or when Teflon said he expected to be running around putting out fires, that's kind of why, because some stuff, I think some scrolls got dropped, and I don't know what all, but, it happens. And Belle, again, picked it up fantastically. I mean, everything ran on time, and she was a little bit running around like a chicken with her head cut off because she was having to cover a lot of bases. But, I mean, Vidalia helped out with the feast budget, and that got all handled. And basically the ability for the Monarchy team to just pick up and go, despite all of those things happening, was really cool to see. Because it was, I think, a really well-run event.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, so back around the horn, starting with Beck. What was good about the event? Not great, not the best. Just what was good.
Did we go in a bad order? Should we have done this in the reverse order?
Usually it's done that way.
No, I want them to be able to go first because I don't want us to take up all the cool topics.
No. I mean, by starting with better, did we?
Or best.
Oh yeah, we did that dumb as hell, but it's too late now. Like
that was my fault. I started that wrong.
No. We can control the conversation as hosts, and we're just not doing it.
Yeah, we prefer the chaos. It's fine.
Butterflies.
Oh, I don't know. I enjoyed everything. Everything was great. The only thing I was a little sad about, I know this is going to be negative, but when we got there wasn't really much to do Friday besides just like sit and hang out.
Yeah, so that's a little bit on us, but at the same time, typically the thing to do Friday night is ditching and sometimes a Friday night Ironman. But we didn't have the Ironman scheduled, and so I assumed that we were just going to be ditching and everything. It's just so cold for most of us that nothing really got done, and there wasn't really an alternative that we thought we should do. So that's a little bit on us.
Well, there were also some compounding issues. There were some lights at the site that ended up not working.
That's true.
There were like some halogen lights that couldn't heat up adequately enough in the cold. So like,
yeah,
that was kind of like there wasn't a lot of ditching because of that. But
yeah, we were doing the fighting that did happen was kind of our impression of Cats, where we're under the street lights. I can't do any more of the copyright issues.
Go ahead, Becky.
We started our dish line Saturday, and Vidalia was like, "Oh, like go down to the basketball court and see if you can get those lights to turn on. It might take them forever to heat up, but see, we were down there for like maybe an hour and a half, and they never turned on.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we were literally under the street lights, fighting in the dark.
Tennessee is just woefully underprepared for this weather.
Yeah.
No, so funny story. We get back from the event, and then the next day, Lexi, Teflon, and I all go disc golfing, and we get back to Teflon and Lexi's place, and Lexi's like, "Hey, I found this super cool light," because we were talking about how we didn't have ditch lights, and she's like, "Here's a brand new DeWalt field light that is like the biggest LED cell I've ever seen," and he's like, "What? How long have we had that?" She's like, "I don't know, a couple of years, I guess." So stuff like that should make it out to the next event, hopefully.
We have to do a cribs for your garage.
No, no.
No, we just cleaned his garage out. Please don't. All right, so Krieg.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
Like third favorite thing.
yeah. I'm sure it's for the cold's to blame, but I'm gonna say kind of like the nightlife, or if there's nothing else going on, there's nothing to do. Kind of what Beck said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was kind of not bummy, but yeah, that was about it. I don't know how to say it.
Come to another.
Yeah, I think
or summer.
there's more that happens typically. This event was a little bit of a fluke for the nightlife stuff. Now, I will say Winter's Edge is not the like big nightlife kind of group or whatever, but it's usually better than it was.
That's what I did. I rolled back into the cabin at like 11 o'clock to get a refill, and all my friends are already asleep. There's no one at the fire. I'm like, it's Saturday night at 11. Where is everybody?
Yeah.
That's where you find the remote that adjusts the cabin temperature, and then go ahead.
He did that the first night. He we got there, the cabin's cold, nobody's been in it, so he cranked the heat up, and then we all fell asleep the first night. It got 85 degrees in our cabin. We all woke up super early.
Oh, no. I'd end up like Frosty. I'd just be a magic hat, coal, and a carrot nose, and that'd be it.
No. I'm saying you load up on that orange juice and rum concoction. You go around with the thermostat remote, and you just find people's cabins you want to mess with, and you just boop, 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 boop from the outside, and then you leave. And eventually, they'll come out because they're too damn hot. Then you got somebody to play with.
You just got to flush them out.
Yeah, exactly. Please don't do that, actually. just to be perfectly clear, don't do that. Godric?
Yeah, so for me, it was a lot of the people who were running things were doing a really, really good job. The gentleman who was running weapon check, I don't remember his name.
Darkmoor. Yeah.
He did fantastic. That was one of the best weapon checks I've seen in a really long time. It was awesome. I thought Clover did a great job with his team in the games. Those were fun. Cocaire did a fantastic job of running the tournament. I had a lot of fun with my fellow judges for the ANS stuff too. The people who were doing the things really well, and that was cool to see.
Nice. Flo?
Hold on. What's in that thermos?
It's mint tea.
Peppermint tea.
Okay,
that's so cool.
All right, now Flo.
Okay, so my good was this is going to be a selfish good, but I had been looking to break into some of the video social media stuff, and I got to do some really good video of the tournament. I actually talked with Hogman, and he got on one side and I got on the other, so we were getting a double angle there. That was a whole lot of fun. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and working off of what we've been talking about on the show of the best way to break through the all of the negative thoughts of I'll never be able to do this is just to go do it, right? Just do the thing. And so I did it, and I had intended on filming the battle game as well, except remember the whole Duffer food thing, and then so filming the battle game didn't happen, but it was a good start. I got some good footage. I am going to be cutting some stuff together and then posting it up to the Winter's Edge page, just kind of a short video. But yeah, that was a whole lot of fun, and I am glad that I pushed myself out there to do it. I don't know if my fingers will ever recover from that cold. My life as a pianist is over. But
gotta get you one of these, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I guess good would be, I don't know, I had a lot of fun doing court. I traditionally hate court. And being able to be the one presenting things helped out a little bit. I definitely was looking for my notes on my phone, and then it was like, I can't read these super well, and I'm going to be sitting there like, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right,
we'll do it live.
95% sure I'm good for everyone's award on what they did for things. And I was like, I totally messed up Z's because it made it sound like all she did was pick up trash or something, but that's not it because I blanked in the middle of it. But so I regret that a little bit. But the general doing court the way I did was kind of fun.
Yeah, I will. My favorite part about all of that was the last thing that everyone got an award for. Every single person was and stuff.
And stuff.
He would run to the.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, he would run through his list of things that they actually did, and then the last was and all of the other stuff that they did.
Yeah.
That was a crutch that I didn't even notice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have
Fuck
to do
you.
it again.
Hey, no, hold on. You take that back. I had a problem in the earlier episodes where my crutch word was absolutely. I'm really conscious effort not to say or and so instead I would just go absolutely.
We actually used to write the word.
I still get roasted by my friends for this.
We used to write the word up on the monitor in big letters. It would just say absolutely.
Trying my best. Oh, fuck! It's me. Sorry, I was very upset. So my good. Now, this isn't to say that it's not better or as good as the other things that came before it. I want to be very clear. Mm-hmm. But I like naming specific people when I can, and I know some of you guys were watching the tournament, but Babine won the archery bracket like handily.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because, I don't know, Babine is about as wholesome as Geralder, but like in a different way.
Yeah.
And she's always such a cool person. She's always like having such a good time, but she's a little hard on herself I think objectively for no reason. And so she walks up to the archery bracket and she's like, there's no way I'm going to win. And she misses her first shot and she's kind of down. And we're like, it's first shot. Don't worry, but you get two more. And then boom, two bullseyes back to back, 6 points on the board. And the crowd's like, whoa, like, lost its mind. And she won that whole archery bracket off of that. And I think she took 5th overall in the tournament. I think there was like a 5-way tie for 5th, but like still, she took 5th in the tournament and 1st in the archery bracket. And I mean, she deserved that win. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
She's the type of person where when I see her win, like, it's not like, oh, she really needs a win, because she's good at a lot of things. But she deserved that win. So seeing her get that and seeing how happy it made her, for me, was one of the better parts of the event for me.
I also, this is going to, I'm not trying to be negative towards everyone in the archery competition, but it was kind of funny listening to Clover say, I thought 40 feet would be a reasonable amount to set it back. I didn't realize that 2/3 of the field would score 0. We need to do some more archery practice in our kingdom.
It was the first time our kingdom has ran any archery competition at all, so there were some hiccups.
Well,
but like
in like 8 years or more.
Yeah.
It was the
Modern
first time
times.
our kingdom
Yeah.
has run an archery tournament. In any
Technically,
capacity.
kingdom is correct that way, yeah.
Yeah, because principality. So
Yep.
yeah. So it was cool to see an archery tournament in general. Like, it was fun to watch, and it was an easy bystander sport. I thought that was really cool.
Just next time, take out like Florentine or one of the other useless ones and not Sword and Board.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing there, bud?
I say that, and that's probably one of my better brackets too when I'm fighting.
Had I been able to fight, I was looking forward to winning this tournament because my worst category board had disappeared, and a category that is a total toss-up, archery, was added in. I didn't care who won so long as it wasn't like the 4 or 5 people that are usually in our top 3. And it wasn't. April won, so good on her. Don't be so hard on yourself. Also come back and win more archery tournaments.
Please. Do we want to just go around? Does anybody have any cool moments or stories from the event? Not necessarily fitting into a category. We're sort of running up to our time, but does anybody
it's
have
kind of like our fun, funny story thing. So if any of you guys have one of those from the event, that would be great. It's always the toughest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I did better in the tournament than I thought I was going to do. I mean, awesome. I didn't bracket or anything, but also I'm quite new and I throw like one shot and nobody caught on to it. And I got Gillian out, so
nice.
Hey.
I was like, that's a good win for me, and I did better than I thought.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you a secret. He only throws 3 shots. You're 1/3 of the way there.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
How about you, Krieg?
I thought it was cool seeing that there was some younger kids there. The first person I was up against in the single sword,
John,
that little boy, is that his name?
Yeah,
little boy named John, and he was like, I'm gonna die, and I was like, I was such a tough position.
Now you slay them. They signed up for it.
Yeah.
I mean, he did pretty good for.
He did pretty good. He blocked a couple
his
shots.
First day, he was like, "I've literally only done this today," and like he did pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Godric?
So this was a big weekend for me. This was I've been having some neurological stuff going on, and I finally had my medicine figured out, and this was kind of a stress test for me. And so it was the first time getting to play Paladin on a Kingdom field.
Nice.
And I threw on the armor and I fought the pole and I played in both games. And I ended up I was good, right? For the first time in a 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
So it was super exciting. I got back from the game and we're sitting in the cabin and I'm cooling off and I'm just beaming from ear to ear. Like I had so much fun being able to actually play Amtgard again. It was awesome.
Right. What about you guys?
What about you, Flo?
Oh, I just wanted to look the opposite direction as everyone else.
Okay.
So, story-wise for me, I had a really, really good time. We sat around at one of the tables just kind of swapping old stories. And I am very much an amateur Amtgard historian. I haven't been in the game long enough to be a real Amtgard historian. But I got to learn the story of how Dragonspine became a kingdom. And I'll tell the very, very short version here, though. I think that having someone who lived through it tell it is worth listening to. But the short version is they had a huge battle game. And it was them and another group. And whoever won got kingdom.
Yeah.
So they actually had to fight for their kingdom status. There was no contract paper. There was no peace. There was no stuffy sitting around a table or anything like that. They're like, no, if you win, we'll make you kingdom.
It's Beastie Boys rules, dude.
Yeah, right?
You got to fight for your right to be a kingdom.
Yeah.
And they not only ended up winning, but my understanding of it was the way that they ended up winning is they manipulated the other group into allowing them to win through trickery and all of this other stuff. So it wasn't just great combat. It was they turned on their own kingdom and ended up, fighting them instead of fighting the other people. So whole lot of fun there. And it was just cool getting to listen to some of the older, very, very early Amtgard stories.
You need me to buy you some time? Because I got one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to leave names out, except for Godric, because this is extremely funny to me.
Oh boy, here we go.
So it's Saturday night after court. Everybody's, kind of mingling, doing their thing or whatever. And I get a message from Godric, and it's like, I don't know how to get out of this conversation. Please come help me. And so I come sit down, and the conversation is basically someone who doesn't know who Godric is, because he's a new knight in our kingdom.
Yep.
So someone who doesn't know who Godric is telling him how Serpent Knights should work. I'm being extremely reductionist here, but it was like, Serpent Knight should be this, and judging should be this, and it was, and Godric sitting there like, help. Me. And so we're talking. Finally, I'm like, they're distracted. Godric, let's go. Whoosh. And then we just ninja puffed out of there like we were gone. And I was like, yes.
So I'll let you guys in on a secret. It didn't work here, but so in my fighting company, we have a help me leave this conversation hand sign. And so if you ever see anyone in our colors with their hand on their hip, like way out and the other arm is down, that means come grab my arm and get me to leave this conversation. Like I need to go somewhere, come grab me.
That's awesome.
And the worst thing that you can do in our company is to make eye contact with a buddy, see the hand sign, and leave. And that happens, and like every time that happens, we have we call it the order of the good looking out, and we do it once an event to someone in our fighting company just for helping, whatever, it's just a fun little internal thing. Yeah. And so you never get an order of the good looking out if you lock eyes and you see me needing help and you peace out.
Godric, you are sitting at a table with 3 people who know a lot of the Ferrum Crux guys. Why would you ever have given us this ammunition?
I'll see the arm out and grab you and not let you leave.
I'm just taking.
Oh, that would be even worse.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? We're still doing this?
Hey, Crux guys, Godric never deserves.
See, the idea of a hand signal is cool. Flo would see it and leave me adrift like a ship on the ocean. He would just like, and then leave. And also, I stand like that normally. Like I normally stand like that. So people would just be dragging me out of conversations. I'd be like, no, I'm really interested in that one. Wait.
He does look like Hank Hill. It's true.
Why would you do that to me? Why would you say something so brutal yet so true?
I guess for me, so the lemurs are gross, but I love them. Every time I see them, they're always having fun. So like I really like anything that they're doing. I bummed a ride off Toasta Pop, and I think it's Joba Pop. I think I'm not 100% sure.
I love the names.
I know, right? Yeah, and Toasta Pop was a monarch for Howling Pines, I think, in October, and he was in the COM meeting, and someone had mentioned something about red users, like red swords,
Dag
from Dag or
weapons.
Bell, which is like two-handed great swords, basically. And he was kind of like angry looking, and he was like, "Hey man, real talk." Dropped the accent, dropped everything. And was like, "Hey man, I know it looked like that I didn't want to be there and everything, but I actually really enjoyed the COM thing." And I took away a lot of good stuff from it. I just couldn't, in the moment, unlatch from what the person said, because it was, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was like it was wrong, or he was like, I don't know how you got to this point, or something along these lines. And he was just like, no, man, that was actually legit really good, and I wanted to make sure you knew that I'm good too. And it was just really cool to see them from this super playful, kind of gross role play thing, and then lose it, and then be like, hey man, real talk.
Yeah.
They sat down with us on Friday night. A couple of them did, and they got me going on a cross gaming talk that I think went significantly longer than they wanted it to. But
were they doing this?
Yeah, they started the conversation, so I was gonna go.
Right.
See, I just want to do it at inappropriate times, like you're sitting at the table with your friends.
I just realized I've accidentally done it. Right.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work when you're at the table very much. It's generally it's a sign to, hey, I'm ready to move on from this camp. Let's move on to the next camp.
That makes sense.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was great hearing from Tyrant's Thorn. Thank you so much for joining the Kingdom 2. I hope that all of your players had a blast at the event. I hope that they have a lot of fun at the next event, which you all definitely will be coming to. Excellent. Thank you so much to our Patreons as well. If you like what we do and would like to support us, there will be links in the description on how to do that. And you ready to roll us out?
Yeah, back Krieg. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on YouTube or Spotify to get notified about new episodes. And make sure to follow us on Facebook for announcements and more.